Hey everyone, I'm James, and this is Covetous Imp Gaming, and this week we're going to be doing a quick review of the new book, Wild Beyond the Witchlight. That I know is backwards. The Feywild is playing a prank on me. Before we get into that, please do the denizens of the Feywild a favor, like this video, hit the subscribe button, and leave us a comment below about videos that you would like to see in the future, and check us out over on Facebook and Patreon. Those links are down below. Before I get started with my review, I just want to say that last weekend I had the opportunity to run games for Cobalt Press at Gen Con. And besides their great homebrew world, they've also put out a number of books that are monster manuals, magic items, and their own spell book that are great ways of incorporating new things into your game if you're having trouble finding a little bit of inspiration to come up with stuff on your own. You can find their stuff at your local gaming store or at koboldpress.com. And speaking of new books, this book just came out this week. And next month we have Fizban's Treasury of Dragons coming out, followed by Strixhaven, A Curriculum of Chaos coming out in November. And they just announced today the gift set that is coming out in January that will include Mordekainen's Monsters of the Multiverse. So I'm looking forward to checking all that stuff out. So, on to Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Wild Beyond the Witchlight is a Feywild adventure that will take characters from levels 1 to level 8, give or take. It is the first campaign, according to Jeremy Crawford, that can be run as a completely pacifist campaign, meaning you never draw your sword, you never cast an offensive spell. Obviously, not every group is going to go that route. Most people don't tend to be murder hobos, but tend to be aggressive in the face of at least evil. But the opportunity to have a completely pacifist run is there. And that's pretty exciting. So obviously I want to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. The campaign does start out in a carnival that is very reminiscent of WoW's Darkmoon Faire, where there's a group of fun little side things that you can do to just kind of pass the time and use your dice to do something besides just attack something or do a skill check. It's more, I mean, there's skill checks, but it's, to do something fun like the ring toss or something like that. The entire campaign looks like it plays out capitalizing on the fun, whimsical nature of the Feywild. You progress through 3 different lands that slowly become more gloomy as you progress, and ultimately you start to discover some of the more evil things that also originate in the Feywild. I did hear a rumor when this book was still in development that the League of Malevolence and Valor's Call were going to be showcased in this book, and I'm glad to see that they did make it into the book. Those of you that don't know, League of Malevolence and Valor's Call were guys that were 2 teams that were featured in like the 80s cartoon and some early editions of D&D. Ultimately, I think that this book has the usual triple threat that a normal Wizards of the Coast book has on a release. New magic items, new monsters, and player customizations make this a book that, even if you're not going to run it, it does have value for dungeon masters and players to just have new options available for monsters or magic items or playable races. So I saw an interesting little footnote in this book, and it was directing people to an article or a piece of content that was on the dmsguild.com. Now, I've never seen this in a Wizards of the Coast produced book before, but I think it's really good that they're trying to draw attention to the content that's on the DM's Guild. So I think the DM's Guild is great. It's a great place for content creators to get paid for the content that they create. And it's a great place for DMs who don't have all the time in the world to find a little bit of content or a one-shot to run for their players. I teamed up with Lunch Break Heroes back in March and put together a collection of one-shots that were all featured in the Feywild, and that's over on the DM's Guild right now, and I will put a link to that down below. If you're interested, check it out, and if your group likes it, then maybe you guys can run that and then head into the Wild Beyond the Witchlight. That's going to wrap it up for Wild Beyond the Witchlight. This coming week, my second Curse of Strahd campaign is coming to an end, and my video for next weekend will be the final battle with Vampire and the hopefully trapping him back into the Amber Temple. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. And we'll see you next week, my last time from Barovia.